Thank you, Michael, for that warm introduction. And thank you truly to each and every one of you for coming out this evening on this beautiful, beautiful spring evening to celebrate some incredible young women and their work. Spring was on my mind today. I found a quote, actually, that I wanted to share. It's been on my mind all day. You can cut the flower. You can cut the flower, but you cannot stop the coming of spring. Those words of wisdom were spoken by another young Afghan woman, Malalai Joya, who, because of her education and her commitment to social change in her country, went on in her early mid-20s to become one of the youngest ever members of the Afghan parliament, and also recently visited the United States. Spring is in the air, and in recent months, we in the U.S. and around the world have seen Malalai's words borne out in a different sort of spring. The surge in new hope and energy that are enabled when education, when literacy meets up with venues for communication, such as computer access and social media. We have seen a spring in people's spirits as they work together around the world to bring about a better world for themselves and their people, and for us as well. We have seen how education and access to venues for communication together can raise awareness and create opportunities. The School of Leadership Afghanistan and the Afghan Women's Writing Project are two organizations, two initiatives dedicated to those principles, dedicated to bringing educational opportunities and venues for communication to the young women of Afghanistan. And those are the two organizations that we're here to celebrate this evening. SOLA, the School of Leadership Afghanistan, was founded by an American diplomat, Ted Achilles, just 3 years ago now, I believe. At SOLA, young Afghan girls, the ones who have seem to have the greatest potential for their education, are recruited and offered access to a safe and secure learning environment where they can work with supportive teachers to better their English skills, with the goal then of being able to take their English skills and study abroad here in the United States at high schools and at colleges. The broader goal is not just for them individually to get a better education then also, but to take it back to Afghanistan so that they can help on the ground in their own country, sharing what they've learned to make Afghanistan a better place. The Afghan Women's Writing Project, likewise, is an amazing, fairly young initiative that works to nurture and support the voices of Afghan women. The Afghan Women's Writing Project is a collaborative project. It's like a shared blog where young women like the students at SOLA and others can share their poetry, their prose, their stories, their voices to an international audience. Specifically, the project's dedicated group of volunteer reader/editors who then, from all over the world, are able to post supportive messages to these young women as they share their stories online and practice their English at the same time. The project was founded by Masha Hamilton, a journalist and a novelist by her own right, just a couple of years ago. And I would highly recommend that you check out this website, the Afghan Women's Writing Project, for the range of stories, the range of voices that you find there will truly, truly astonish you. On that note, I'd like to close by saying that I believe that there is an all too common misperception that by celebrating the voices of these young women and others like them, that by celebrating and reading their stories, we're somehow offering them a voice, right? Or ending their silence. But I've seen firsthand in chatting with some of these young women that their voices are strong indeed already. And they do not need us to give them a voice or to end their silence. What they need from us are our open ears and our open minds and our open hearts, our support, to listen to them as they tell their stories, and to share what we learn from them with others in our lives. So thank you so very much for coming out this evening to celebrate the young women of the School of Leadership Afghanistan and of the Afghan Women's Writing Project. And I wish the very best to all of us and to these young women. Thank you.